Hello guys, November 13th, Saturday. So as you know, Saturday there will be already lesser articles, and today the articles which are there are also repetitive. So there's nothing much to discuss. I'll anyway show you what are the articles today, so that you get an idea like why Saturday editorials are always a waste of time. Okay. So the right side, anyway, this is called the ground zero. Okay, where always some case study kind of thing they will take. Okay, you can read it, but it's like too much detailing. Like the ground level, they'll tell. Okay, like this person was walking from here to here, then that happened, and 6:30 p.m. that happened, 7:30 p.m. that happened. So very detailing story type thing will be written. So last week Saturday, you remember it was some Kerala related some strike. One lady was doing some strike, so that we didn't discuss. And here again, Kashmir in the 90s, that whatever issues were there. Okay, so that Hindus and Muslims an issue, so that they are discussing here as a story. Okay, so if you want you can read for interest sake, but for exam it's a very like waste of time. Okay, so that we are not reading. Then these two, if you see, okay, you know November 13th, so tomorrow November 14 is like Nehru's birthday, so children's day. So because of that, Shashi Tharoor last 2 days is like telling like Nehru is God, Nehru is everything, Nehru is this thing. So this happens every time. Okay, like tomorrow if Modi's birthday is there, they will tell about Modi, or Vajpayee is there, Vajpayee, or Abdul Kalam, Abdul Kalam. So that personality making them as God figure, they will keep writing everything like their legacy is the best, they have done everything, other people are destroying India. So that kind of article. Okay, so this is also very like nothing much to tell here, but one or two lines I have taken screenshot, I'll show you. Okay, from this one. And this one, if you see, is again non-alignment movement. You know, non-alignment movement is the one which again Nehru took the stand, so they have wrote about it. Okay, no other specific reason to write this, but in NAM we'll just discuss. Okay, because there will be nothing to discuss today. What is NAM, we'll try to discuss because it's important for your UPSC. Then here the numbers game, if you see, this is about the different things which we already discussed. The COP26, the COP26 Panchamrit, we told like this much emission, this much reduction. So that number specific they are telling. Okay, so that we'll quickly see what it is. And this one again, vaccination, suddenly vaccination we see it's decreasing, and across the world cases are increasing. So again, number game. So these 1 2 3 we'll discuss quickly, else today's Hindu is actually a waste of time. Okay, and about other things also we'll see. Okay, before that, this, as I told, this in Nehru's article, if you see, the starting is very good. If he tells about these four people, four men embodied the vision of free India in the 1940s. That is, Gandhi is there, Nehru is there, Patel is there, Ambedkar is there, but everybody's vision, everybody's ideology, everything was different, the style and all. So about that he starts it, but later the article will go into too much Nehru thing. Okay, so here if you see, it's written. Okay, like Gandhi, what was his ideology? Gandhi believed in spirituality, or Gandhi believed in what is the Indian concept. Okay, not the modern concept, or working with the world, and that was not Gandhi's idea. But Nehru it was more for modernity and that kind of things. So that Gandhi's moral kind of thing, Nehru's political passion, then Sardar's Patel's firm hand. Okay, meaning the administration, then the unity. Statue of Unity is there now. Then Ambedkar's legal help, all these things together has made India into a great democracy. So that starting is very good. So I just thought of giving you, so that you can also, in any answer where you have to write about India's starting leaders and all, this is a very good introduction which you can use. Okay. Then at the end of the article, again there is a thing like some journalist or someone asked Nehru, like, what is your hope or like legacy, like after you, what will be the vision for you for India? Okay, he's telling 400 million people capable of governing themselves. Okay, even though now the numbers have increased, that's why they're telling the population has reached billions, but everybody are able to govern themselves, everybody are able to work in this pluralistic democracy. Many people are coming together, so of different sect and religion and caste and also, that is a good thing which you can quote somewhere. Okay, Nehru's legacy. Okay, 400 million people capable of governing themselves, that was his vision. Okay, so this too is the only takeaway I felt good in this article. Remaining is all Nehru's what is it, praising him. Okay, too much praising him. Now, as I told, editorial I will discuss in this video, but what about the other articles? There are many articles coming in Hindu, Indian Express, Times India, everything. So our other faculty are working on Vice courses channel, and this is also UPSC relevant only. Okay, because it is relevant for other exams as well, we have put it in a different channel. Okay, so please see to that you subscribe. Okay, because subscriptions are not increasing much, and every day in both English and Hindi videos are coming up. Okay, so if you see the UNESCO Creative Cities, these are all prelims possible questions. Okay, Padma Awards 2021 prelims question came. Then this Air India problem is there. Then here if you see EPEC summit. Okay, EPEC, India is not part of EPEC, but it is important. Okay, because EPEC question came long back in the 90s, and now there is a high chance that one more time UPSC can ask question. Then this International Solar Alliance, Trump was against it, but now Biden has joined it. So 101st member. So like this, everything is important. Okay, Mulla Periyar dispute, the trade between India China, sixth mass extinction, then Pakistani fishermen, Pakistani people killed our fishermen, again China's trade. So everything is important. Please see to that you don't miss out on these things. Okay, because simply you watch editorial and you will have a fake impression that that, okay, I know everything, I know every current affair. You have to do editorial, you have to do these videos, and you have to enroll to a good test series. Okay, Vaishya's current affair always is the best in the market, because whatever UPSC current affair has come, it's all solvable from a test series. Okay, it is repeatedly happening since last 3 years. So if you want them, you can come and buy, because current affairs separate pack is also there. Okay, and again, entire videos you have to support us. Okay, I always tell you, you have to mark your attendance. If you don't put your like and comment under this, I will not know that you are actually watching them. So after each episode, when you watch it and subscribe to the channel, put one like and one comment. It can be a thumbs up, it can be like thank you, it can be like the question, maybe I asked something you in the video, that answer you can put in the this thing. Okay, so something like that, your comment should come, else we'll not be able to continue it. So please see to that every lecture is continuing for a long term. Okay, else I'll have to shut down, and then you will have to forcefully enroll to the complete test series package and all. Okay, because videos is the key to your foundation. If you have foundation, then it's easy to solve questions later. Okay, and again, to contact me, WhatsApp and email, please do that. Okay, anytime, any hour of the day you message me, I will be replying to you personally. Okay, now the first article, as I told, the zero emissions thing, the number game. Okay, the 26th COP thing. Okay, Conference of Parties in Glasgow, Scotland, where UK was the host. We are already 1,000 times we have discussed this Panchamrit thing, and India is telling goals and all. But now, you know, the Western countries, the leaders, okay, the USA, UK and all, they are forcing everybody to have this net zero, okay, or near zero emissions by the mid-century, that is by 2050. But that time China and India, because they are now presently emitting lot of greenhouse gases, because the historical reason is not India and China, it was USA, UK, Russia. They were the ones responsible for whatever is happening now in the climate related aspect. But now India, China, because they are in the developing phase and going towards developed countries, they have been forcefully asked to reduce emissions. Okay, so they took a defensive stand and told, like, we are not responsible, there should be equity, like the reparations is not like our responsibility alone, you have to have the lion's share, you have to do more things. Okay, and you have to give us finance, you have to give us technology, only then we can do something. Okay, so we will not be able to do by 2050. Then finally China told, okay, by 2060 we will do near this net zero emission. Okay, and India told 2070. So that is not like, everybody did not accept it happily. Okay, everybody are not happy, like this much delay India is taking. Okay, and again, India has lot of other initiatives by 2030. In Panchamrit we already discussed, and now everyone are telling the target 2070 is very far away. Okay, so if world has to have a fighting chance, world has to fight back climate change, it cannot be 2070, because it has to decline to zero much before that. Okay, and India now is the third highest emitter of carbon dioxide. So try to find out who is the highest. Okay, the 1 and 2, rank 1 and 2 highest emitter of carbon dioxide, tell me in comment section. Okay, third highest is carbon dioxide. So giving itself a 50-year deadline will unlikely help. Okay, because now 2020, so 2050, meaning 50 years mean 2070. So 50-year deadline is not going to help. It will unlikely help, they are telling. Okay, and India also told, even though we declared too much ambitious thing, we are telling, if you don't give us $1 trillion by 2030, then we will not be able to do it also. So again, it's a post facto condition which is being told, and that is also not accepted by experts and other people in the world. Okay, and also India, you know, we have a target of like reaching $5 trillion economy by 2025, $10 trillion by 2030. But because of COVID pandemic and all, everything has reduced. Lot of funding we had to push towards the reparation work. We had to give ration, we had to give vaccines. So now it is very unlikely that we will reach our target. That is also being told by the author. Okay, and also earlier in Paris climate change, it was decided that $100 billion annually will be given to all the like African countries and the developing countries, but nothing of that sort has come. Okay, every dollar is contested, nobody is giving the money properly. USA, you know, Trump was against it. So later it will reach a stage where developing countries and everyone will be forced to tax their citizens. Like, you know, like already we have this cess and that duty and all. Climate related, now if you emit this much carbon dioxide and all, then we'll have to forcefully tax citizens. Okay, so instead of reaching there, the developed countries who have the resources and technology should start sharing to India and other countries, so that we don't have to put the burden on the citizens. The leaders have to act accordingly. Okay, and a quicker transition to renewable energy source is also one great thing which can be done, and India is also moving towards that. Nitin Gadkari also told, like, we are trying to move everything electric by 2030 or 2040. So people have to have that positive attitude that we will be reaching there, okay, soon, if everybody gives the funding and technology. Okay, and climate crisis, one thing is, you know, it is never taken as a political thing even now. Okay, like, you know, in politics, whenever this thing comes, election campaigning comes, they will tell, I will give you food, I will give you water, I will give you Wi-Fi, but nobody tells, like, okay, I will repair the climate change for you, I will repair the problems which is there in ozone layer, because people also don't care. Okay, people don't know that this much serious issue it is. Okay, unless it is in some island country, people don't take it seriously. So it has not yet become a political resonance in India. India, and they are telling, author is telling, unless it reaches the electoral platform, we will not be able to push away from fossil fuel. Okay, like there should be people also wanting like, okay, we need electric cars, we need renewable energy, we need solar power plant, we don't want this coal burning. Then only it will become a demand, and then politically leaders also can promise it. Only then there will be a realistic chance of India changing from all these things, and then all the disasters can be avoided in future. Okay, so this is a very good way they have ended the article, so I felt it like discussing. Okay, else point wise I don't think there is any new point which you would have learned. Okay. Now, the second one, vaccine again. So vaccines, we know we have been doing vaccination and like 100 billion dose and this much vaccination. Everything is good, but the rate of vaccination has suddenly gone down, and also outside India, the cases has suddenly increased. Okay, like in UK, in Singapore, two articles I discussed last week. Both places, it's like huge number of cases because they opened all their gates and everybody were allowed travel, trade, tourism, everything is happening, and it is like a very what is a concerning thing. Okay, because this may come to India also, because the Delta variant is one what is coming in UK also, in Singapore also, and Delta variant started in India only. It was first reported in India only, so that is why everybody are fearing that maybe it will come back again. Okay, now the variant, the AY 4.2 Delta variant sublineage. Okay, this is the one which is now causing problem in UK and Singapore. So what if it comes to India also? So we have to take precautions, and we have to still continue mask and take the vaccine on time. Everything we have to do. Okay, Corona is not gone, so please take it seriously. Now every festival is being celebrated. People are on the roads. People are doing everything openly. There is no mask also at certain places. There is no temperature check. There is nothing. So this has to be taken seriously. Even double dosed vaccine people are getting affected again. Okay, in the outside countries. Okay, and now in India we have a body called Indian SARS-CoV-2 Genomics Consortium. Okay, this was actually formed, if you see, 2020 only. Okay, by the Health and Family Welfare Ministry. Okay, this is to study about all these variants. Okay, the genome sequencing and virus variation. Okay, which we have different strain, right? Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, up to kappa, and even new has come. Kappa and delta are from India. So this studies. Okay, so even they are telling like no new variants have come. There is nothing to worry. But the existing delta is still a threat. Okay, even people with 2-dose vaccination are getting affected. See, it is outcompeted other variants. Okay, and most countries, this is what is being reported. This is the virus being reported, variant being reported. Okay, and vaccination has suddenly slowed down. So that also the government has to take care. Okay. There are availability, everybody are producing enough vaccines, but due to some reason dates are not getting allocated, or people are lazy to go and take the vaccine. People are not taking the second dose. Okay, so that is also a problem, because in September we had a peak of vaccination, and suddenly now by November it is going down. Okay, and also only 38% are fully vaccinated. 80% are eligible. 80% of eligible adult have received only the first dose. Okay, the second dose time has come now in November, December time, but people are not even concerned. People are like considering that okay, everything is gone now, there is no worry, we won't get corona. Okay, but it is not the case. Even your neighborhood, someone would have got corona, so you have to go and take. Okay, and then fully protection is achieved only with 2 doses. Okay, even though they guarantee that, still you can get. Okay, then but the impact will be lesser. Okay, instead of death and all, it will cost like you will get a flu or you will get a fever for a few days, 1 week. You will just have to rest it and it will go away if you are vaccinated. Then Covishield is what 90% of the people have taken. Okay, not the Covaxin, because that is what is approved also, and that is what is both are approved in India, but outside everyone are not accepting Covaxin and all. So Covishield is okay. Okay, you have to take Covishield, and other one is also fine. But I'm telling, outside when you have to go and all, Covishield is what is accepted more. And now the mandatory gap is also, as I told, between 2 doses, like 80 days, 84 days, that is not has reached. So people have to go and take the vaccine, and the mandatory vaccine is priority group are the above 45 years. Okay, above 45 years everybody has to take. So that numbers they have taken, how much, not very important. Okay, then the sad part is the health workers. They everybody did not get. Okay, only 10% of people are yet to receive the second dose. Okay, so that is also something very sad, because they are the ones who have to work with the patients and also they should be first priority vaccinated. Okay, and reason they are telling this only complacency. Okay, people are like kind of satisfied, like now there is lesser daily fresh case, hospitalization is there, and deaths are now dropping, so there is no problem. So people are now kind of okay. So that can cause a wave to come again. Okay, then this month-long door-to-door vaccination campaign was started recently. Okay, so that is a great welcome step, because polio vaccine, everything we have achieved success. Okay, great rate of success when you go to the doorstep and give them vaccines. Okay. So what the author is finally telling is all the proven and innovative methods needed to be deployed to drastically increase vaccine uptake. Okay, so before a new variant emerges, okay, by the end of this year, by December, please see to it that you get your second vaccine. Okay, hopefully you have taken the first vaccine, because I know there are people who simply tells like vaccine is not good, vaccine will cause you some diseases, some other side effect, and they have not even taken the first dose. But please take it. Okay, we ourselves have taken, everybody have taken in our house also, in our faculty team also, everybody have taken their first dose. Okay, second dose we are waiting for the date. Mine will be, I think, November end. Okay, November end will be 84 days, and I will be taking the second vaccine also. So please see to it that you also are getting vaccinated. Okay. Now, NAM, and again I told they have linked it with Nehru because tomorrow is Nehru's birthday. Okay, so what is this non-alignment movement? I'll tell you in one or two slides before going into the article. Okay, there was something called Cold War. Okay, that is after the Second World War and all, USA got into one side and Russia got into one side because they are the supreme powers. They are competing in anything. Space, like who will go to the moon first, who will go to the space first. Like Russia person only first sent to the space, Yuri Gagarin, the year I forgot, and then 1969 this guy, USA and Neil Armstrong to moon. So they are like competing who will do something first in the world, everything. Okay, military pact, who will give more nuclear weapons, who will give more missiles to other countries. So they wanted to be the number one in the world. Okay, because that time China and all has not yet emerged. Okay, China and India and all not yet emerged. It is USA and Soviet Union, because after Second World War UK was gone. Okay, in First World War UK was the greatest power, British still then, but after that UK declined and USA and Russia became the biggest power. Not Russia, the Soviet Union. Okay, 1991 later Soviet Union will break into different countries. So those times, okay, in the 40s and 50s, a concept came. Okay, a concept of non-alignment movement. That is because 1947 time, that is the time when countries like India or some African countries, China, Pakistan, everybody are getting independent and becoming a country. So they will have to take sides now because USA and Russia is controlling the world. So now a new concept came in 1955 in the Asia Africa Bandung Conference in Indonesia. Okay, that is a concept, 1955. So there they told like we will not take sides and we are not aligned to anyone. We will have a separate movement called non-aligned movement. Okay, so the 1961 the first summit happened in Belgrade, Belgrade, Yugoslavia. Okay. So summit conference happened, and as of now there are more than 120 members. Okay, 53 from Africa, 39 from Asia, 26 from Latin America, and then Caribbean, then 2 from Europe, and even there are international organizations part of it. So it's a big body now. Okay, so the relevance of that already we have discussed multiple times in our prelims materials and all. So if you see here, the first conference, who were the leaders? The leaders are from, again, Yugoslavia, Egypt, India, Ghana and Indonesia. Okay, so if you see, there are Asian countries, there are African countries, and then Yugoslavia is there. Okay, so this you can by heart it somehow. Okay, YEGII. Okay, Yugoslavia, Egypt, and Ghana, and India and Indonesia. Okay, so that if you remember, it's a potential question anytime, or in your mains also you can quote it. So, and the chronology also, 1955 concept, 1961 first conference, then 1979 there was a Havana Declaration in which the purpose of the organization was enumerated, meaning we list out like what all we'll do, like we care about national independence, sovereignty, territorial integrity, okay, security of non-aligned countries. So like this, many things are there. We are fighting against racism, then the African slavery kind of thing, neo-colonialism, colonialism, imperialism. We are fighting against all this. This is the purpose that is coming in the Havana Declaration of 1979. Okay. Then again, if you see, NAM doesn't mean neutrality of state on global issue, meaning it's not like NAM means we will not care about global politics or global alignments. Okay, we are not taking sides under USA or Russia, but it will always have a peaceful intervention in world politics. Okay, meaning every global thing they will involve, but by not taking sides. Okay, and so world order can be stabilized. This was the goal of the non-alignment movement. And there was something called Panchsheel, which Nehru and like India, China and all had a Panchsheel agreement, like 5 important concepts, like we will not interfere in your matters, we will not come into your border and fight with you. Like many things were there. So the NAM also, because Nehru was one of the leader, Panchsheel thing was imbibed into the NAM ideologies as well. Okay, so respect for sovereignty, you pause and by heart it. Okay, because it's a good thing for your main answers. Then peaceful settlement of international conflict, then respect for all the things, cultural, political and every people, defense and promotion of shared interest, respect for this individual, collective self-defense, Charter of United Nations, everything they respect, non-interference in the internal affairs of state. Okay, promotion and defense of multilateralism, multi-organization. This is kind of Panchsheel ideologies which like Nehru also contributed into the NAM movement. Okay, so this is the basic about NAM. Now we'll see what is the article telling. Okay, article, as I told, it is because birth anniversary of Jawaharlal Nehru is there, and 60th anniversary of non-aligned movement is also there. Okay, so that is why this article is being wrote. Now you should know this taking neutral stand is not a new thing. Already there was something called Congress of Vienna 1814 where Switzerland took a neutral stand. You will know most of the international meetings, most of the headquarters, everything will be in Geneva, Switzerland. Why is it that? Because Geneva, Switzerland is a neutral country. It doesn't align itself to any big grouping. Okay, so every big meeting, every big discussions happens always in Switzerland there. Okay, So, if you see now again the same thing which I told in the last article, Mahatma Gandhi believes in spirituality and non-violent solution. Nehru believes in world politics, innovation, and modernity. Okay, and then Nehru in 1964. Okay, 1965, sorry, 1946. Sorry, 1946. That is after the constitution writing time and all. That time he told this. Okay, like we propose to keep away from the power politics of groups aligned against one another. It is for one world that free India will work. Okay, so one world, there will be no alignment like, okay, there's not like bipolar world. That time it is called bipolar world. Okay, because one side is USA and one side is Russia. So people will take stand, like UK will go to his team, or the Turkey will go to his team, Australia will go to this team. So like that, it was like team wise. But one world is what India will work upon. So this also you can quote it as Nehru's quote. Okay. Now, Nehru believed that world problems as interlinked, okay, not like a right or wrong. Like you cannot tell like, okay, they are right or they are wrong. It is all interlinked. Everybody will have to work together for a single world, okay. And also we will consider India's interest first, okay. Even though world politics is there, so that's like a little bit contradiction also where he tells like we work for a global world, but again he tells in some statement like we don't care about the world, we care about India's interest first. So there is a slight bit of contradiction, but that is what he told, okay. And then again the same thing they are describing again and again, okay, like India is an emerging power, so we have to keep up our economic situation, everything. We have to not fall into the world games and world politics and all. Okay, there should be diplomatic flexibility. And then again, if you see, promoting India's diplomatic presence, securing economic assistance from abroad. Okay, because if you support USA too much, then Russia will not give funding. If you support Russia too much, USA will not give funding. So you have to assure everything. Okay, and also against, as I told, colonialism, racism, apartheid, all these things which are happening in African states, India was supporting them. India was the lone hand which was in support to them. Okay, then again, Geneva Peace Conference was there in 1954, India-China relation and all. So that time also India was having a very important role in facilitating that. Okay, and also whenever that Korea war, like North Korea, South Korea problem was there, Vietnam, USA problem was there, that time and all, India always kept a little bit distance. Okay, India did not recognize like, okay, North Korea is right or South Korea is right. They did not tell Vietnam is right or USA is right. They never cared about all these things. Okay. And later the China's also problem is there. Okay, two China and Taiwan problem is there. West Germany, East Germany problem is there. So everywhere India never took any proper stand. But as when the time goes, okay, when the leadership changes, after Nehru, when Indira Gandhi came, or after Rajiv Gandhi came, now Modi came, the ideology started changing. That is what the author is trying to arrive at. Okay, 1971, by that time, USSR role is there. Okay, 91 they will break up and become Russia. Then later Bangladesh liberation, that and also liberation, India went and supported with military assistance. So India, even though we're telling like we won't interfere in other things, India slowly started interfering by the time Indira Gandhi and other people came. Okay, so NAM's failure also they have listed here. Okay, like the countries like Yugoslavia, Egypt were non-aligned and they were the leaders in the first summit. Okay, but they wanted another supporter. So that time Nehru went and joined as the third co-sponsor, but he was a little bit hesitant. Okay, because here if you see, this line is very good. Defense Minister Krishna Menon, he told like true non-alignment was to be non-aligned towards the non-aligned. Okay, meaning you are telling you will not take side, but you are making your own group called non-alignment movement. So that is also like taking a side only. So if a true non-alignment means non-aligned to the non-aligned itself, meaning you should not be part of that group also. You should not be part of any group called NAM also. You should be individually doing whatever you want. Okay, so that's why he was a little bit hesitant. Okay, but he ultimately joined. He was one of the leader and then gave the Panchasheel and all these things. Okay, and ultimately everything is based on this only: sovereign domestic jurisdiction. Okay, we will be interfering in everything, or we will be staying away from everything, whatever it is. Our domestic jurisdiction sovereignty is the most important thing. Okay, and also NAM, why they are telling failure is it could not dent, let alone break the prevailing world order, meaning it could not make any great impact. Okay, neither USA, Russia, nobody was scared about this, what is this NAM, what they are doing. So breaking is far away thing. You cannot even create a dent, you cannot even create a small impact on that. Okay, so NAM is considered to be a failure. Okay, and as I told, after Nehru's death and idealism and everything ended, then a little bit Indira Gandhi, like opportunism came, Soviet Union, we aligned more. If you know, Russian alignment was more. We bought missiles, we bought aircraft carriers, we bought everything from Soviet Union at that time, because they were more about socialism. 1976 time and all, we were adding socialist keyword into our preamble also. So like that, things were happening more towards socialism and against capitalism. Okay, so then we now have reached a kind of semi-alignment. Okay, and Prime Minister Modi also, if you see, is more aligned to USA. If you see the groupings, quad grouping we are doing, Indo-Pacific region we are coming together. Everything is more aligned to USA than Russia if you see now. Okay, even though we buy many things from Russia, we are more aligned to USA and capitalism as of now. So then NAM has lost its significance. That is what you are telling. And here at the climax, the author is telling the longevity of organization. There are different organizations, but everybody has failed. Okay, most of them have very less shelf life. They are telling. Okay, shelf life means the number of years it will be active. So this body is their Center for Policy Research. They produced a document 2012 which is called Non-Alignment Mark 2.0. Okay, but that also not getting any significance. They have another document called A Rethink of Foreign Policy. So everywhere they're telling non-alignment has actually failed. Okay, and they're giving different examples, like League of Nations, was the one which after World War One the people formed it, so that World War II won't happen. But World War II happened, and finally League of Nations was scrapped and United Nations was formed. Okay, and luckily till now there is no other war happened. Okay, now if you see Commonwealth is also like simply British, this queen is on top, and they are telling like as long as British find it useful, it will exist. After that, Commonwealth also will not have any significance. Okay, then the BRICS countries, they are telling India, China is always fighting. Then what is the point of having a group called BRICS? Okay, they are simply faking or simply handshaking with each other, and back end they are anyway fighting with each other. So BRICS also is losing relevance. Then SAARC, they are telling already India Pakistan issue, and their meeting is not happening since 2017-18. So what is the point of having a SAARC also? Then again, the non-aligned conference, okay, which happened I think last in 2019 or something, it was there. And India, if you know, earlier like prime ministers used to go. Then when Modi came and Vajpayee came and all, they started sending just the maybe vice president or maybe president. They will not send the prime minister there. They will not send the defense minister there. They will send people who are anyway very weak in our Indian polity system. Okay, president, vice president, if you see in Indian system is very weak, because Indian system is a prime ministership kind of government. It's not a presidential government. So we were not even caring about much this NAM conferences. Okay, and also in 1981 they agreed like the 1st September day is like a anniversary day for NAM. Okay, but now the September 1 came and went, nobody even cared. Okay, it went unnoticed. The symbolic anniversary was going unnoticed. So this is what they are telling. NAM has totally failed. So in case a question comes, NAM has no future, justify, you have to write points from this particular article. Okay, hope it's clear. But for prelims, you need to learn many more things. Okay, many more summits and things are there. That is covered in our test series. Please come and enroll. Okay, I don't want you to fail even after watching all these videos. Okay, because this is just a foundation. But your exam point of view, you need to have a proper test series. For that, you have to WhatsApp me and join. Okay, the batch 2 prelims is going on for 2022. You have to come and join. Okay, so I'll wind up this video here. Thank you and have a nice day.